Hello friends, so we are back again and I welcome you to this new class. Hope you are following up, watching the videos regularly and learning or assimilating the ideas or just ignoring. So we are talking about employment, how people get employment or how people educated or qualified but not able to find employment and so on. That was the problem that we were discussing about. And today we shall speak about the sectors as a organized sector and unorganized sector. Organized and unorganized. So we can say the economic sector where the people are working. Some are organized, some are unorganized. Let us say the story of two people in order to understand it clearly what is an organized sector and what is an unorganized sector. Let's say the example of a lady, Kanda. So Kanda works in an office. So she is an officer and working in the office. Then she attends her office from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So she is working in her office. Her time is fixed. 9:30 she has to begin her work and 5:30 she has to end her work. She doesn't need to work any extra or anything. Then she gets her salary regularly at the end of every month. So because she is working in an office, they pay her salary very regularly. Every month she is getting her salary. Then in addition to the salary, she also gets provident fund as per the rules laid down by the government. So it is the rule of the government that people who are working in the offices, they should get some provident fund. That means every month government or that office where she is working, they will deposit a certain percentage of her salary into the account. It is called provident fund account. And when she is retiring, that all that money with interest she will get back. So she will be able to make use that big amount. Together she will be getting after many years, and with that money she will be able to do something for herself, for her house and so on. Then she also gets medical and other allowances. So as per the rule of the government or the office where she is working, she is also able to get every month certain amount of money for her treatment, medical expenses, and also for other allowance. Maybe she is staying in the rent house, so she will get rent allowance. So people who are working in the office, they have all these privileges. They have fixed time of work, they get extra allowances, they get salary every month, and they get PF funds, they get traveling allowance, they get medical allowance, they get rent allowance and so on. So a lot of privileges are there for people who are working in the offices. Then Kanda does not go to office on Sundays. So Sunday is a holiday and she does not have to go to office to work on Sundays, and that is a paid holiday. So in a month sometimes there are 4 Sundays are there or 5 Sundays are there. So when she is paid salary, she is paid for 30 days or 31 days. So they are not telling in 4 Sundays were there, you did not come to office, so we will pay only for 26 days. No. The Sunday is a holiday and she doesn't have to come to office, but she will be paid salary for the full month. That is advantage of working in the office. And when she joined work, when she began her work in the office, she was given an appointment letter. So they prepared a letter letter and gave it to her, and stating all the terms and conditions of the work. So everything was written down. You have to come to office from this time to this time, that is 9:30 to 5:30. You will be given this allowance, you will be given salary every month. All the details, everything will be written down there, and a copy of that was given to her in the office. So everything is clear, there is no doubt. Everything is clear. So that is an example of organized sector. Everything is organized. There is no confusion. There is no lack of clarity. Everything is very clear. Now let us see about another man who is working in an unorganized sector. And his name is Kamal. And he is working in a shop. So Kamal is Kanda's neighbor. So he is a neighbor of this officer called Kanda, about whom we were talking. And he is a daily wage laborer in a nearby grocery shop. So he is not getting an office job. He is given a daily wage job, that is in the grocery shop. So he has to go and work in that shop and help the man to distribute things. When people come to buy, he has to take and give the things and so on. So that is his job, and it is a daily wage. Not at the end of the month he will be paid, but every day at the end of the day he will be given the money. And he goes to shop by 7:30 a.m. in the morning and works till 8 p.m. in the evening. So the Kanda who was going to office, she had to go from 9:30 to 5:30. But this man has to work more. He has to work from 7:30 to 8 p.m. So his working hours are more. Then he gets no other allowances apart from his wages. Though he is working for a long time comparing to other officer, but the shopkeeper or the shop owner does not pay him any extra allowance. It is told him you will be paid this much wage. Maybe let's say 100 rupees will be given. So that's all. Nothing more, nothing less. So he will be paid only the fixed wage. No extra allowance will be given to him. Then he is not paid for the days he does not work. So he is not given monthly salary. He is not paid for all the days of the month. Suppose he is sick one day and not going to the shop, then that day he will not get money. So there is no paid holidays. If he is working, he will get money. If he is not working, he will not get money. That is a situation. Then, nor was he given any formal letter saying that he has been employed in the shop. In the case of Kanda Viso, when she joined the office, they prepared a letter and gave her, stating all the details, all the conditions, terms, everything. But for this man, nothing is given. He just will come and work here and will give you money, this much money, that's all. So he can be asked to leave any time by his employer. So his work is not satisfactory. If the shopkeeper or the owner is not happy with him, then he said tomorrow onwards he no need to come. He can be dismissed anytime. So these are two stories to show the difference between a person working in the organized sector and another person working in the unorganized sector. So we see the difference. Here, lot of privileges are there, lot of advantages are there in people working in the organized sector. But very much disadvantage for people who are working in the unorganized sector. They have to work for a long time, but there is no safety, no security, no extra payment, no paid holidays, nothing. If he is not working, he will not get paid. Or he can be dismissed anytime. So his work is not sure. Tomorrow he will get job or not, he is not sure. Because it is an unorganized sector and the owner can dismiss him anytime. So these two stories show the difference between people who are working in the organized sector and unorganized sector. Now let us see in detail what are the difficulties, what are the problems faced by the people who are working in unorganized sector. So let us deal with these two people again, Kantha and Kamal. So it is Kantha who is working in the organized sector because she is working in an office and she is getting a lot of privileges. We have already said she gets a paid leave. Every Sunday is a paid leave, and she has got less hours to work, only from 9:30 to 5:30, and she has got a lot of allowances and so on. So it is law is there by the company and by the government and so on, because all the companies that are registered in the government, they have to follow the government rules. So this office where Kanda is working is a registered office, and therefore they have to follow the government norms, government rules and so on. They cannot escape. If they are not following it, then they can face punishment by the government. That's why they are following all the government rules. But the shop where Kamal is working, it is not registered, it is by a private person, and he can close down the shop anytime when he finds it is not profitable, and so he can dismiss the people who are working there. Nobody will complain, nobody will question him and so on. And we say why it is called an organized sector. The offices which is registered by the government, we call it organized sector. Then why do we call, or what is the reason? We say it has some formal processes and procedures. So these offices that are registered in the government, with the government, they have got certain procedures, certain methods are there, and certain processes are there. They cannot simply come and say, tomorrow onwards I start this company. They cannot. So first of all they have to get permission from the government. They have to register it with the government. And then government will say, if you want to register, you should have a good building, you should have this many staff, you should have these provisions, safety should be there, fire extinguisher should be there. So many things government will demand. So all that should be provided. And government will say, we have made this rule and you have to obey all these rules. That means you have to pay salary to the employees regularly, you have to give them provident fund, you have to give them other allowances, and you have to give them salary regularly, all those things. So they are following all these processes that are mentioned by the government, and that's why we call them an organized sector. But on the other hand, a person who is running a shop, there is no government rule, there is no registration, nothing. He just makes one room, keeps things there and starts selling. There is no rule, there is no process, no formality and so on. So some of these people may not be employed by anyone but may work on their own. So that is the example of the shopkeeper. He is not employed by anyone, he is just working on his own. But they also sometimes have to follow the government's rules and regulations. So any officers with regard to doing some works, important works, office works. Sometimes there may not be many employees, many people may not be working there. Maybe only one or two people are required to work in that office. And the owner himself may be working, or owner and his son may be working. So, but they cannot say we are not employing the people, so we will not do the register. So it is compulsory to register with the government all those offices. Then workers in the organized sector, they enjoy security of employment. So people who are appointed in this organized sector, they have got job security. They will not be dismissed within one day. So if they do some serious problems, then they will give warning notice and say such and such things are found, you are doing wrong things. If you don't change or if you don't improve, you will be dismissed. So they will be given warning, then only they will be dismissed. But suddenly they will not be dismissed. And they are expected to work only a fixed number of hours. We saw in the case of Kamala or Kanta that they have fixed time from 9:30 to 5:30. So they don't have to work extra time. Suppose there is some extra work and the manager is coming and telling, please today work 1 hour extra. So she can say, no, I will not work. And if she say, okay, I will work, then they will pay her extra money. So she is working 1 hour extra means she is not working free, but she is working for extra money. So that is the advantage of people working in the organized sector. They do extra work, they will get extra money also. And they also get several other benefits from employers. As we already said, they get so many benefits, allowances and so on. So they will get payments during the paid holidays like Sundays. They don't have to go. Other national holidays are there. They don't have to go to office, but they will get full salary. Then they will get provident fund, as I already said. Then gratuity funds. All these are government rules that all those who are running these offices in the organized sector, they should have all these provisions. All this help should be given to the workers. Then they are supposed to get medical benefits. So people who are working in the organized sector, if they get sick, they will have some money for that, for treatment. That will be given additional. Then under the laws, the factory manager has to ensure facilities like drinking water, safe working environment and so on. So the manager has to make sure the office where they are working is a safe place. There should not be any accident, especially fire accidents and also should not be there. And if the fire accident comes, there should be enough provision for the people to run and escape from the building. And there should be drinking water provided there. All those things are needed. Then workers get retired, they should get pension also. So all these, it is their responsibility to make sure that all these things are provided. So people who are working in the organized sector, they have a lot of advantages. Then let us see again in the case of Kamal, a person who is working in the shop, a person who is working in the unorganized sector. Let us see what are his benefits for working. He has to work long hours, but what benefit is he getting? So in contrast, Kamal works in the unorganized sector. So the unorganized sector is characterized by small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of the government. So you can underline in your textbook. What is unorganized sector? It is small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of government. So these are not registered with the government and therefore government is not controlling them. Government is not telling you must do this way, this way, this way. So they are outside the control of the government and they are very small units like shops and so on. So government is not bothered to control them. And there are rules and regulations, but these are not followed. So in this unorganized sector, the rules and the regulations are not very strictly followed. Then low paid jobs are here low paid. The salary is very low, very less, and it is often not regular. So they may not pay the salary every month. Sometimes the manager also may not have enough money, so he will say, I will pay you afterwards, I will pay you later and so on. And there is no provision for overtime. So if they are working overtime, extra time, there is no provision that they will be paid extra money. So whether even if they work 1 hour extra also, their payment will be same. Then there is no paid leave, no paid holidays, no leave due to sickness and so on. So if they are not coming for work, then they will not be paid. That day will be absent. So such kind of difficulties are there in the unorganized sector. Then employment is not secure. so they can be dismissed anytime. Suppose their work is not satisfied. If the manager finds that this person is not good, then he will say tomorrow onwards you no need to come. So it will be such a hard for the worker who is working in the unorganized sector. Anytime he can lose his job, he has no special provisions and so on. Then people can be asked to leave without any reason. So there is no need to say you are dismissed because of such and such a reason and so. I don't like you, so you don't need to come. I want to give chance to somebody else. So we can always choose what they want. There is no strict rule. Government is not controlling them. And when there is less work, such as during some seasons, some people may be asked to leave. For example, in a shop, many people may be working as helpers, especially during the festival seasons. Many people will come to buy things, and the shopkeepers, they need to serve the customers, so they will employ many people come and help in the shop. And after that festival season is over, the customers may become very less again, and they will say we don't need 3 people to work here, 1 enough, 2 can go by. So they can be dismissed. So they are employed only for few days, only for that festival season. After the festival season is over, they are asked to go back, stop the work again. Then a lot also depends on the whims of the employer. So if the employer, whatever he wants he can do, nobody will question him. If they want, he can employ. If they doesn't want, he can dismiss. Or if he doesn't like, he will say I will pay you only little. So everything depends on the owner or the manager and so on. Then this sector includes a large number of people who are employed on their own, doing small jobs such as on the street or doing repair works and so on. So people who are selling vegetables on the road or clothes on the roadside and so on. All these people are, we can say, they are working in the unorganized sector. Or people who are repairing shoes on the road or baskets on the side. All these people are working in the unorganized sector. They are not sure how much money they will get at the end of the day. Nothing is sure. So they are just going on working, hoping that they will get something. But there is no surety, but there is no guarantee and so on. What will be their income and so on. So the unorganized sector is completely different from the organized sector. And the people who live in the organized sector, they have a certain kind of security of life, a certain amount of fixed payment. But people who are working in the unorganized sector, there is hardly any fixed payment. They may get or may not get, and they will get their job or not, they are not sure. They can be dismissed and so on. And also the farmers who are working in their own farm, or people who are hired laborers, all these people are also working in the unorganized sector. The farmers, people, especially small farmers who have got small field where they themselves are working, their family members are working, or when they are hiring, if suppose a man, he is alone, he is not able to work alone, therefore he is calling 2 more people from the neighboring house, come and work in my field, I will pay you this much. So he will call him only when there is work. He will not call him every day, you come and sit in my house. He is not going to do that. So when there is extra work, he will say, come and work in my field. So that people will get work only when there is extra work. Other time they will be dismissed and so on. So that is a situation for people who are working under this unorganized sector. It is really a hard time for them. They are not sure in a year how many days they will get work, how much money they are going to get, or whether they are able to go and work every day or not, or every year, throughout the year, every day they will have work or not. Nothing is sure for the people who are working under this unorganized sector. So it is really a hard thing for them to survive. So they are depending on the hand to mouth to earn something and to support their family and so on. So that's why people, once they get educated and pass their interview and get job in the organized sector, in the offices, under the government office or private office, whatever it may be, then we can say their life is secure. They are sure they will get job till they get retirement, and after retirement also they will get some money as a pension and so on. So their life becomes secure, their family can have certain steady income, and they have no reason to worry. They know, even if I don't go for work every day, I will get job, I will get money, I will get salary and so on. Because there is paid leave is there, medical leave is there, the PF fund is there, so many provisions, so many facilities are there. All that is granted by the government, and the government will continue to provide. If any company is not giving, then government will catch them and fine them and so on. So there is a difference between organized sector and the unorganized sector. So today we shall wind up here, and the next class again we will explain, we will go in detail about people, the percentage of the people, how many people are working under organized sector, how many people are working under unorganized sector, and so we will see them in the next class. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day.